Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Lunch Show podcast. My name is Wally Shavers, and today we got a very, very special episode with a very special guest. The man beside me here covers many things. Wrestled former MLW World Champ Alex Kane. He did extra work for TNA, MLW, and NWA Exodus. He wrestled for ICP Wrestling Promotion. He tagged alongside former WWE star Simon Gotch. He was former Windy City Tag Champ and also been featured on Fox News before. He was also former Horror Slam Tag Champ and many other things. Now listen up. He will be the highest in the room. If you don't know his name, you will find out real soon. His destination is to the moon. And once he arrives there, the whole earth will be doomed. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you James Muthafuckin Fury in the building. Let's get a round of applause here, man. Round of applause here. It is great to have you on the Lunch Table Podcast, man.
Thanks for having me.
Man. I got many questions for you, brother. But one question I want to ask is that when I was doing my homework on you, I see that you had this particular look to you. You know what I'm saying? With the whole little furry coat on, not coat, but you know what I'm saying? The fur thingy, all black, that look in your eyes, the tats, like explain that look, the whole James Fury look. Like what's the meaning behind that?
The meaning behind the whole James Fury look is just simply just being different.
Okay.
When I'm walking in public, I want to be able to stand out compared to the rest that is walking alongside me. If you see a whole big crowd in New York, right, walking down the street, you will notice James Fury, no matter what. You're going to see that guy in the top hat, you're going to be like, that's James Fury.
Okay.
He's different. Off rip, I'm different. I think everybody should be inspiring to be different and not like everybody else.
Right. Now, do you also see other former wrestlers, not former wrestlers, but wrestlers that have the same like look to them, or every wrestler is different in their own fashion?
There's one that inspires me a lot, and that guy is Karrion Kross. He has kind of somewhat of a similar look, but my look kind of comes from like some of my favorite movies that I've watched. Like the top hat thing came from Will Smith from Suicide Squad. He had this really nice look that I loved. It was like a snakeskin long jacket that I've been searching for still to this day. And he had like this gold belt. Instead of the gold, it's like, I forgot what kind of belt it was, but mine is a gold scholar belt instead. And then I got the top hat, but his top hat got some like cool stuff up here. I just have a plain black top hat. But that's where this look right here was inspired from. Okay,
yeah. And same thing with the whole chain, with the, Black Panther, the whole
the chain thing. This is Sabretooth. So like everything on my body and what I wear is like just basically a different super villain or just a casual villain that like I'm inspired by. Like Will Smith, Deadshot. Right here, Sabretooth / Wolverine. Even like even like my pants right now, that's inspired by Kraven the Hunter. But nobody else is gonna know that but me.
Right.
Like even just the fur right here, Kraven / Sabretooth right there. So
I fuck with that.
That's goes for all of my outfits. It's always inspired by somebody else that's a villain. Right,
because when you come to being yourself, you got to get like inspiration from other places to form it and tune it into yourself. And I see, like I'm like, it looked familiar, but I couldn't picture where it was from. So when you kind of explain it right now on the podcast, it's like, okay, I get it now. The hat with the jacket, the Sabretooth, like. It's funny because I'm into Wolverine, but I would never peep that, and I noticed that you just said, the name. So I like that. It's definitely different.
Most people would think Black Panther, but
that's what I thought.
I love Black Panther, but I'm not a Black Panther fan. I'm all Sabretooth, Wolverine, Kraven, like the hunters, the guys with the fur and stuff. They look badass.
Are you all right? So even with the Black Panther, are you kind of a fan, or not even a fan, but on Black Panther's side or his cousin? I forgot his name, but
Killmonger.
Yeah,
I'm a Killmonger all the way.
Okay.
So even the camo pants, I would say that's a tribute to Killmonger too. I love Killmonger. Like he's like I will never put myself on the superhero side. I will always put myself on the villain side of just everything.
Really,
life, just everything.
So even when you since we're talking about like Marvel and shit, even with like Thanos against like the whole Avengers, like you would agree. Okay.
I feel like I'm Thanos pretty much in real life. Like, my goal at the end is just for the greater good, you know. And everybody may look at me as the villain, which they do in real time, but to me, I'm a hero.
Right.
In my eyes, I'm a hero, and they just look at me as the bad guy. And hey, feel how you want to feel, you know.
And that's got, you know, with certain villains, I ain't gonna say all, but certain villains do got motives that doesn't be completely wrong. It just got the ill intent behind it. So, like, when you think about, whoa, it's a lot, but just villains out there, even like an anti-hero sense, they're not necessarily villains. They're just, you know, take care of their own business. It may be
Magneto.
bad. Magneto?
Magneto?
Right.
Magneto, he was treated very, very wrongly. Like, he literally, I'm pretty sure he watched his mother die.
Yeah, he did.
So it's just like, Magneto turned the way he is now because of what happened in his past, his story, you know. So I think about it like that with myself.
Right.
Think about guys like Green Goblin. Why did he turn evil? Why did Lex Luthor turn evil? You know, so I apply all of that to my life, where it's like, okay, why did I turn my back on the people? Why did I start dressing like this? Because before, I was never dressing like this. Before, I was dressing like a bum in school. Before, I was wearing mismatched clothes, you know. Now I have a style. I actually have something that I go by now, you know, and that's all because of what I went through in my past.
Okay. Well, okay, so what with the look, what about the tattoo? Because I always see the tattoo that's on your like just one of your pecs. Is there like any behind that too or not?
Yes, that's a really one of my most important tattoos, and my first tattoo that I ever got, and it's TTIWIA. And a lot of people they always think that means like something sexual or just something random, like it's just letters just put together for the love of the game. But no, that's not the reason. TTIWIA means the top is where it's at, and that originated from my older brother, Martel. He made that when he was kind of on the brink of like kind of like in and out of like not prison or jail, but like, what is that thing where you go to when you're young? You're too young to go to jail. What is that called?
Juvenile.
Yeah, he was kind of in and out of there. He was doing really, really bad in school, like just like overall in life. And he made that in art class, and out of nowhere, he turned his life around. So he got that at his darkest point in his life. I got this tattooed on me at my absolute darkest point in my life. And the crazy part of that is I thought that was the darkest point of my life. I have not witnessed the absolute darkest point of my life. I feel like just now, I'm at the darkest point. Just now.
Even, I mean, it's way more ahead of us too. Like we were young. We were like 20-some years old. So imagine if we think this is dark now, just wait until we get like 30s, 40s, 50s.
It's going to continue to keep getting harder and harder. And all you got to do at the end of the day is just keep on pushing through.
Right.
Keep on pushing through.
I always like to see that, like, if I go through some real bad shit, it's only because I haven't learned my lesson. I haven't learned from that experience. So would you say that's the same thing for your philosophy in a sense?
I feel like when people, like, I know a lot of guys were like, they'll go through some bad shit, but then they'll continue to spit out negative shit. Like, oh, it's still going bad. Oh, my life is being fucked up. Like, it's never going to get any better. If you keep on spitting out negative things about how your life is doing now, then negative shit is going to keep on happening to you. It's like me, for example, right now. I'm going through a lot of shit right now, but I keep on telling myself, hey, it's going to be okay. Hey, at the end of the tunnel, there is treasure. Right. I might be slowing down now, and I might be realizing who my real friends now, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get the job done. At the end of the day, I will succeed, and everybody is going to see that.
Okay. So you are well experienced when it comes to bad times, dark times, whatever. So what would you got to say for the people that are really the same position that you was in, probably like 2, 3, or probably like last week? What are your advice as far as that?
My advice for people similar in my position, there's people out there that might have it worse than me.
Right.
People out there that don't have access to water. You know, but my advice to all those people is just no matter how hard it is, you just got to keep on pushing. You got to keep on going. No matter how depressed, no matter how angry you are with your current position, you got to keep on pushing. Because if you don't keep pushing, I think about it like this, right? This is also, I have multiple motivations in life, but one of my biggest motivations is just I'm thinking about my future kids. My future kids, they need a leader, a superhero to look up to.
Right.
If I am not pushing through all of these roadblocks, if I am not consistently climbing up that mountain with all these swords, all these arrows in my back, I have to be that Batman, that Superman to my daughter or my son. And the only Batman or Superman, because if my son or daughter is looking at somebody else as their Superman or Batman, then I am doing it all wrong. I am a leader at the end of the day to not only my kids, but to my wife.
Right.
You know, so I think about it like that. So with all the other people, they have to think about it like that too. Whether you want kids or not, you are the leader.
Gotta be a leader. I mean, bro, if you think about it from like back in the old times, that how you saying it right now, that's how people were, like men, like masculine men were back then. So I'm not gonna say it's like, I mean, it's definitely pushed down, like watered down, whatever you want to call it, but it's a good attitude to have, and especially if you know how to tune it and just like just say it and do it for your children. First, you say your children, your wife, your kid, like everyone. Because with that type of attitude, you can go to a long way. You'll be looked up to with everyone in your circle. So I definitely agree on that. Now, for people that isn't familiar with your work and who you are, what do you gotta say to people? What do you gotta tell the people of who James Fury really is? Like, who's the man behind all this facade? You know what I'm saying?
The man behind all this facade is just a lot of people always think that just because outside of the character and stuff that I'm just big old goofball, you know, I always got a smile on my face or whatnot. But deep down, I have a burning sensation to win. Deep down, I'm angry.
Right.
And I think everybody should be angry because if you're sitting here with your life and you're looking around and you can honestly say you've been the same person for the last 5 years, then you're doing it wrong. You have to consistently evolve into something bigger, better, and greater.
Right.
You know, so I think about it with myself where it's just like I use my anger for great things, for good things. Other people out there like criminals, they use their anger for bad things. My anger, when I say everybody's going to feel my fury, I mean that. But I don't mean that as in I'm going to harm people. I mean that as in succeed. I'm going to succeed. Everybody is going to see me succeed. So when I say everybody feels my fury, it's coming from a place of passion from everything I've been through, but it's also me saying that in the end, I'm going to get what I rightfully deserve, and that is for me to live a comfortable lifestyle to where I don't have to ever look at my bank account and be like, oh, fuck, I need to save up more money. And I can just be like, hey, you want to go to Miami next week and never have to even look at my bank account.
Right.
That's the lifestyle that James Fury wants to live. That's who James Fury is.
Hey, you can't grow unless you change. Like every day you have to evolve to a person that you want to become. Whoever that is, you had to put in that work. So I hear you on that language. I hear you. Now, just want to say something. It was a lot of things that you said that like caught my, like, all right, with the whole people use their anger for the wrong things, right? Now, was there somebody in your life that had the same fury as you had, like as you did, that used it for the wrong intent or the wrong thing?
From the top of my head, I would say maybe. I don't know too much about this person, and this person is my dad. I knew you was going to say that for some reason. I never met my dad, ever. But whatever was going on in his head to why he did the things he did, which I am not going to disclose that information here.
Of course.
But I feel like maybe he didn't have no anger in him. I don't know. But still, at the end of the day, he did those wrong things that he did, and he is being punished for that to this day, you know. So, I guess you could say maybe him. But like I said, he was never really in my life ever. But a lot of people always just think that I'm just this big old happy guy, but at the end of the day, like, I have so much rage. Just I'm filled with nothing but rage, and that rage is what keeps me going. A lot of other people, rage or anger doesn't keep them going. It just destroys them, and it keeps breaking them down little by little each day.
Right.
My rage makes me better. You know, when every time I get angry, I get more motivated to work out. I get more motivated to get up every single day because of this rage. So my rage is like my best friend.
Right.
You know, so I think about it like that. The more angry I get, the more powerful I am. You know, so that's where James Fury comes from. This isn't just some gimmick I just made up in my head. You know, the rage that you see with me, it has come from constantly being beaten up, being down when I was younger. It's come from just many betrayals and heartbreaks. One day being told that I'm good, the next I'm not. You know, just constantly being told many things when I really needed somebody in my life to just give me a hug and tell me everything's gonna be okay. I had nobody to hold my hand. I had nobody to bring me up and tell me that everything was gonna be okay. I didn't have no girl to tell me that. It was just me at the end of the day. But guess what? At the end of the day, I brought myself up through all the deep, dark holes in my life. That the deepest, darkest moments when I was losing my hair, all of that shit. I brought myself up. Nobody else did. And at a young age, at the age of 17, I am 21 now. You know, so there's only so, like, as I get older, I'm going to keep on growing, though. I'm going to keep on learning lesson after lesson. I'm going to keep on learning more and more information that I'm going to install in my brain, and I'm going to keep it there.
Right, okay. So, you know, for your year 2 of wrestling, I can already tell that you learned a lot of lessons, life lessons into wrestling.
Yes.
Right. So what are the lessons that you learned so far in this journey called wrestling life?
In wrestling, you're right. I've learned a lot of valuable lessons. I've learned that not everybody, I've already known this before. It's been told to me many times, but I've learned that not everybody is your friend. You know, I would always try to forget about the fact that, like, not forget, but put shit past people.
Right.
I'd be like, no, he wouldn't do that. He's not capable. He's not capable of doing this. But the truth is, anybody's capable of doing anything. It doesn't matter who it is. Your real blood brother, your mother, your dad, your sister, your girlfriend. It doesn't matter. Your best friend, don't matter. Everybody is capable of doing anything. Anybody is capable of turning their back on you at any given moment. So with wrestling, I've experienced not only that, but I've also experienced the fact that, like, you don't need to listen to everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, you take what they say, you take certain things they say, the good parts, and you apply it to yourself. And then the negative parts, the parts that you shouldn't listen to, you just let it go one ear out the other.
Right.
You don't always have to listen to, not even just in wrestling, outside of wrestling, you don't always have to listen to every single thing that people tell you, whether they made it in the industry or not. Just because, let's say, for example, just because somebody's so super, super famous, if they tell you to jump off a cliff, are you going to jump off a cliff? Just because they're famous?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've learned shit like that because when I first started, I listened to everybody. For the good and for the worse, man. And it did nothing for me in the end. It did absolutely nothing. All it did was just drown me in the end. So I look back at my wrestling career, and it's still going, of course. But I just stopped listening to everything that people say, and just, if it applies to me, if I like it, then I'm going to go with that. And if it's just bullshit, I'm good. Let's just keep going.
What was the moment that had you realize, like, that epiphany, like, oh, I can't listen to every single body because they're not on the same path as me? Like, it's that moment where, like, there's nobody in the same path as me. So unless I, like, just shut them off, I can do whatever that I'm pleased to go do. In fact, I'll listen to somebody that's in the same space as me. So what was that, like, a epiphany for you when you like, nah, I ain't gonna listen to y'all no more?
It's funny that you say that because I've had a few friends in wrestling where, like, just when I first started off, we were like the best of friends, you know, because I had no other friends in the wrestling business. But then as I went on and I started doing more and more, my mindset was just always just like, I want the best possible. And their mindset just like, I'm okay where I'm at, bro. I'm comfortable where I'm at. and I don't give a damn about going any further. I can't be around that. Like, I'm okay with, still talking to them and everything, but talking all the time is just over time. You gotta think about it like this, man. When you surround yourself with nothing but burger people with burger mindsets, at some point along the lines, you're gonna eventually adapt the same mindset also.
Right.
But if you surround yourself with nothing but great individuals, high tier quality talent, then your mindset is going to shift from being a burger to being an alpha male or being somebody with just so much knowledge in their head. The reason why I have so much knowledge in my head at such a young age is because of the people I surround myself with. I take it very seriously who are in my circle. And my friends, I only have 3 friends that I can call my friends. And that's it. Everybody else is just either business associates or just great bonds that I have. Because I had a recent conversation with a guy. I hang out with him once a year. But is he my friend? No, he's not. It's just a really, really great bond that I have with him.
Damn.
There's guys that I have a great bond with, but is that my friend? Or is that just a really good business partner?
True that.
You know what I mean? So you got to start thinking about things like that. Like, not everybody's your friend, man.
It's crazy because, there's people out here that think, like, oh, we're friends because we did this, we did that together. So they're completely unaware of the fact, like, they're capable of doing this thing. There's no such thing as a good world because, when you start, like, say, for example, right, I give you a ride. There's people out here that think that we're friends, or I'm your friend because I give you a ride. But it's only because for the good of whatever the reason I may have.
Whatever benefit that we're both getting out of it.
Right, yeah. Because, everybody wants something in return. You know what I'm saying? A true friend doesn't care about what you can, benefit off of, right? So I'm glad that you said that because there's people out here that are completely unaware or just don't know, like, bro, just because they did this for you doesn't mean that they're a friend.
Exactly.
And that's a hard lesson to learn because, you may grew up as, like your mom or somebody that's around you, your life that tells you, like, hey, this is what a friend is. They're going to do this, going to do that. But in a real world, in reality, that's not how it goes.
Exactly.
And you will learn the hard way of what a friend, that definition of a friend is move so lightly. So when you say you got 3 friends of people, that's crazy. But to some, it's not crazy because they know what a true definition of a friend is. So I definitely like that. Is there any brethrens, anybody that you look up to in an industry that you are in?
Definitely Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, I've never met him before, but he's with WWE currently.
Okay.
And every single time, not every single time, but for the most part, he's put me over in his comment sections a lot of times. And he didn't have to do that, Like, I started off just being, like, a super mega fan of him, like, just of all his work, because he was just so different. I loved his shit because he was he just stood out compared to your normal average wrestler. And everything that he was doing motivated me to just be like, okay, I need to be more different. I need to stand out. What can I do to stand out? And like I said, he literally said one time in one of the comment sections, I expect you to be next to me one day. Like, he has a lot of faith and belief in me. I love everything that he's doing right now. And he's definitely one of those guys that I really, really look up to, man. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. A lot of people give me shit for that. Like, oh, why is he your favorite wrestler all the time? Like, Karrion Kross is my favorite wrestler all the time. I don't give a damn what you say.
Okay.
So I'm a Kross fan for life.
I was going to ask you that too. Like, who's your, like, all-time favorite wrestler? But you already asked the question, so that leads me to say, who is in your top 5?
Top 5 wrestlers?
Top 5 wrestlers.
Man, that's a hard one because I have a lot that I like a lot. So, like, I'm putting Karrion Kross in number 1. Number 2, Batista. And this might be, like, the wrong order, but definitely Karrion Kross at 1.
Oh, yeah, don't even matter about the wrong order.
Batista, Brock Lesnar, even John Cena, definitely Randy Orton. Because one thing I love the most about Randy Orton is, like, his mannerisms, his facial expressions, and I take a lot of notes from that kind of stuff. Like, I love it when he's going batshit crazy in the corner, losing his mind right before he's about to kick somebody's head right off their shoulder. And it just when I'm in that ring and I have moments like that when I'm just losing my mind, like, it makes me think back to the moments where he's kicking people's heads off. So I love that about him, and I apply it to myself.
Okay. Now I'm not really into like wrestling how I should be, but Randy Orton is so iconic, and he the one that be doing the RKOs
Yep,
and shit.
He's the one that does the RKOs.
Bro, I saw a whole montage of this nigga doing. So it's funny, like, all right, now when I used to watch it like real thorough because of how he does the RKOs. Mm-hmm. And like you just said, the facial expressions, it says it all too. So like
facial expressions is everything.
Is that something that kind of inspires you too, like to get more in character as far as like the gestures,
yes,
facial expressions, like the body languages, stuff like that? Is that something that you look into as well?
Yes. So when it comes to the facial expressions, I not only look into like other wrestlers like Randy Orton, but I look into like American Psycho, Patrick Bateman.
Oh,
I look into like the Joker. Or even like just like I said before, all the super villains that I look up to, Mr. Freeze, Green Goblin, Penguin, all those kind of guys, and I'm missing a whole bunch more villains. Like these are not real people, but the Decepticons and Transformers. I love how evil they are. Like it's just so grimy. I remember there was a time point where like the Autobots tried to bring them up, and like they're trying to team up together. And then, nope, we're not a team. Screw you. Like I love stuff like that. Or Dr. Decker, I just love all that shit, man.
Oh man, you want to know something too? I feel like you will really love Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah, Dr. Doom is another one of those guys,
bro. And Adventures Doomsday is gonna come out like probably like a year or so from now. So I know that movie. I cannot
wait to watch that.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if he would like won over the whole movie. Like the second villain in Marvel that won the movie. Like against the heroes.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they literally got the dude that played Iron Man playing as him, so he probably might win. Oh man, probably.
People hate, but I believe he's gonna do good, bro. Like it's gonna be for that character with the same kind of like aesthetic on. It's gonna be fire.
I wish it was somebody else just to like keep it fresh. Keep on changing. But I think he'll do good in that role.
Yeah, I believe he'll fulfill a job, but it's exciting because he's actually a great actor. Now, we always known him for, like, Iron Man, like, the most notorious role ever. But for him to be now the villain role,
interesting.
It's going to be interesting, too. Because it's different for him to, like, play a different character in that career. So it's funny how I just came up with this, like, all right now. But is that something that you would, like, look forward to as far as just the character and just everything about the whole aesthetic? Because Dr. Doom was real, like, infamous with his whole like taking over the world. He's a genius. He's like one of those like top 5 smartest villains in Marvel.
Yeah, yes indeed he is. Like I definitely take a lot of inspiration from guys like Dr. Doom. And like I said, Sabretooth and like Kraven the Hunter, even Venom. Like even though Venom is like not a human, like he's a symbiote form.
Right.
Like I still take inspiration from all these guys, man. Like when you look at William Dafoe when he's playing Green Goblin, like those evil ass gestures when he's smiling, like he's generally evil, man. Electro, Jamie Foxx playing as Electro.
Oh man.
Sandman's like insane sad backstory. Like you really feel for that guy, and he has every reason to be evil, but he's kind of like in between though. But just stuff like that, man, it definitely does motivate me for sure.
Okay, yeah. So another question here off of my list: what do you want to be remembered as?
Oh man, that's what do I want to be
villain
as?
Or the
Oh man, that's deep. That is really.
I mean, I put it as what do you want to be remembered for? This kind of
remembered for or as. I don't think I have something like. I would say I want to be remembered for that guy that no matter what, he just kept on going, man. Like, no matter how hard it was raining on him, no matter how harsh the storms were, he just kept on going. I want people to look at my life and take inspiration from that. I want them to get motivated, like, you know what? James Fury did this, so I can do this, I want to be that kind of public figure where, like, you just really get motivated from my content. You take inspiration from everything I do, like even like my journey when I was losing my hair. I can grow my hair back. I could if I wanted to, but I have a giant bald spot in the middle of my head, so I just keep shaving it back down, But I have hereditary hair loss, but it started at a very young age. Surprisingly, I was supposed to probably lose my hair later on, But it actually started in high school, which is like the worst.
The worst period of time
for you to lose your hair.
Oh shit!
You know, imagine like all the girls they thought you were cute before, but then once you lose your hair, oh, now you're an old man to them. You know, and just everybody that were your friends are now cracking jokes about your bald spot, and it's just like I tried so hard to save my hair. Like I spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on hair products to save my fucking hair, and none of that shit was helping. I was tired of constantly being made fun of. There was moments in time where I'm just like, bro, I just don't want to be alive anymore, bro. I ain't gonna lie, like this shit, it's over.
I mean, I feel, bro. And what you said, high school or like middle
school? High school.
Dude, in high school. It wasn't in high school when I cut my hair, but I cut my hair and I thought my shit was over. Like I'm getting cooked, I'm getting my shit smacked. It was on bald head though, but you, oh man, like you.
That's also a part of like
salute.
That also plays a factor in like how I am today because of what happened in high school. You know, so it's like you also got to think about the fact like, oh, would I look good bald? Do I have a good head shape to be bald? You don't know. You're just thinking about all these things like, what if this? What if that? You know, the possibilities are endless. But then one day, I remember just calling my brother in the middle of the night, and I'm just like, bro, I'm ready to let it go. I'm tired of trying to save this shit. He came there, he shaved my head bald, and like for some reason, like I was looking at these posts and they were saying that your hair holds like spiritual energy or something like that. Like you know, like whenever whenever people put on those wigs and stuff, whoever hair that was before. If they were a negative person, that negative energy is going to be onto you now.
I think I heard something similar to that. So it's funny how you kind of like damn.
So like when my hair came off, I swear I felt like I was reborn again into like a completely different person. I felt happier. I felt better about myself. I was less depressed. I was like, damn, like it's like a new fresh air just went by me or something. You know what I mean?
You're right. But you know what? I can definitely feel that. But I know you saying that because you know when you outside in the cold and you got a bald head and wind just hitting you.
It sucks, man. It sucks for real. But I will say, like, ever since I did shave my head, every day in those halls, I wouldn't speak to nobody. I'd have AirPods in, listen to Sonata, New Japan Wrestling's his theme song, Randy Orton theme song, just to be funny sometimes, and just like people like damn near. I feel like people damn near feared me in those halls. I'm not gonna lie. Because like I was getting people saying I was unapproachable. They didn't want to come up to me because they felt like I was gonna fucking be a danger to society. I remember one time my principal called me to the office and stuff. They saw a promo of mine that I posted. I was like, they're all just sitting fucking ducks waiting to be exterminated. And I said everybody feels my fear at the end. Mind you, I'm doing this for wrestling, right? And they were like, is this a threat to the school? I'm like, no, this is a wrestling gimmick. You know, this is a wrestling gimmick. I guess people were actually feared for of their lives. They thought I was going to come to the school and just blow that bitch up and some shit. It's like, I'm not. This is a wrestling gimmick.
That's so crazy, bro. You trying to do your thing. You got called out to the office because they thought you should blow that bitch up.
Like, that shit was crazy. But, dude, hey, man, like, I wouldn't take back anything that happened to me, though. Like, I don't have any regrets or anything like that. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'll go back in time and fix this because, you ever see Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yep.
So you seen that part in Deadpool and Wolverine where they tried to fix Wolverine's past?
Yeah.
And she says something along the lines where, well, if I go fix this, then you would have never saved the world today. So I think about it like this. With my life, if I could go back in time and fix the things that happened to me that was so fucked up, I wouldn't be the man sitting before you today, being on this podcast. Maybe I wouldn't be a wrestler either. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, everything that happened to me, it all sparked my passion for professional wrestling at the end of the day.
Oh my God, that was a bomb because that's like one of my quotes, my favorite quotes ever. Not quotes, but just a whole way of thinking. Because if you, like, let's say if I got this one big ass regret, right, and I go back in time, dude, if I go back in time, I probably wouldn't have learned my lesson or learned that valuable thing I needed to know about that. And I probably would have been way worse if I never went through that. You know what I'm saying?
You got to learn these lessons, man. Like, there's so many valuable lessons that you can learn in life, man. So if you go back in time and you switch that shit up, then you're going to fuck around and find out again.
Yeah, because, like, that's something for you to always think about. Like, if you think about the ability to go back in time, it'll be a cool superpower to have, cool ability for you to go do. Mm-hmm. You can do go back to however long, but back to your point of time when you got bullied, when you're going through a heartbreak, when you're going through like serious things in your life, traumatic events. You gotta remember that's what made you today. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that's a whole transition that you need to go through. Without that, what is life? Without pain, what is life?
Without pain, without suffering, what is life? Like you said, without character development, who are you really? You know,
exactly.
It's like I just think about like both of us. You know, like we are the people that we are today, speaking on this podcast because of everything that we went through. You know, James Fury is the man that he is today because of everything that he went through. You know, so I'm glad that I have that character development. I'm glad that I can sit up here and comfortably talk about it, because I also noticed that the people that don't have character development, the people that had everything handed to them on a silver fucking platter, those people struggle with motivation. Those people can barely get up and work out and go to the gym. Those people get content with life. Those people are comfortable with life. They don't want to do shit. They get a girlfriend and be like, oh, fuck life. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy life. I got a girl now, so nothing else matters, right? You know, but people like us, we have something to care about. We have something from our past where it drives us to get up every morning. That's our reason for wanting to get up every morning. That's our reason when we go into our jobs, we feel way less miserable going into our jobs, because we feel like we have a much more larger calling in life, a purpose, compared to everybody else going into their jobs, blue collar, every single day, same shit, rinse, repeat, same person, every year to year. Those people are depressed. Depressed. You know, a lot of people will probably ask like, oh, how can I get this fast? How can I blow up fast? How can I become famous fast? How can I get a six-pack fast? Without pain and suffering, it doesn't give it any value. The suffering is what gives it value. You have to suffer. I'm glad that I suffered my whole life, because it gave everything that I've ever earned value. So just think about it like that.
And especially when you said about the fast lane, trying to get shit fast. Everything is meant for it to be longer than what it should have. Like, niggas take 5 years to master what I'm doing right now to get that certain position of recognition.
Exactly.
So it's like, no.
It might take 10 years.
It might take 10 years. You just got to be persistent. And if you really want it, it doesn't matter how long it will take. You will do it anyway.
Exactly. It's treasure at the end of the fucking tunnel, man.
Right.
And like a lot of people, they always want to fast track. Like, I feel like when I first got into the wrestling business, like sometimes that shit will destroy you mentally, man. When I first got into the wrestling business, I was always had that mindset of fast tracking like success. Like, damn, in 2 years, if I don't make it, man, like, what am I doing, you know? But like now, my mindset shifted from that to like, just like, you know, when I make it, I'll make it. Right. You know, whether it takes 10 years, 5, and that's not me doubting my ability, but it's just like, I'm being more realistic. Whether it takes 10 years, 5 years, 2 years from now, 3 years, or even a year or a couple months from now, it's going to happen when it's meant to happen, you know?
Exactly.
So this is my story. Everybody in the world, life is like a video game, man. And you're on different levels of the game. You're on different chapters of your life. Like, you could be on chapter 12 of your life. I can be on chapter 35. Like, other people can be on different levels of the game. It doesn't matter how old you are either. That you can meet a 75-year-old man and he's still on chapter 2 of his life just because of his mindset, you know? So I just look at life where it's just like, man, like, it's going to happen when it happens.
Now, I want to say, too, to go pick your brains, what are your thoughts on just having an expectation, like high expectations on certain things? I
feel like that kind of goes into like kind of what I was just talking about. When I first got into business, I already had high expectations where just like, and I got disappointed real fast because it's just like, you got to bring yourself back to reality, man. It's just like anything can happen. What if you got injured today? Wrestling career over. You got to be prepared for any and everything. You know, so what I do now, instead of being like, oh shit, I want to be WWE wrestler in 2 years. I want to be AEW contract in 2 years, TNA contract, and a couple months from now. I'm like, okay, let's sit back, take a couple deep breaths, and really think about this. Let's set short-term goals, complete those short-term goals, and then you keep on completing them, and then at some point, you're going to get to that high goal that you first initially thought about.
Right.
So right now, doing these short-term goals. this is a goal right here. Me being on this podcast is a short-term goal.
Appreciate it.
Each week I have a different goal. This week was to be on this podcast, get it done, get this content shit out, and make more people see my face.
And the reason why I asked that is because I believe it's one of the most important lessons when it comes to you wanting to reach this certain destination. Because if you think about it, you having a high expectation is leaving room for disappointment.
Yes.
And when you, oh my God, when you have that highest expectation or you want to go at, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. And then when you go through the adversity of that, it kind of like shuts down or whatever expectation that you may have. And you may be discouraged as fuck. But it's not just that. It's just you got to get comfortable with the fact of, and my philosophy now is just like be more present into the moment. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about back then or the future. All you got is now. Because if you can prioritize that, I believe you can get anything that you want. Because you're more focused. You know what I'm saying? Attentive. So that's the reason why I asked that. So
I agree with you. I definitely do agree with you 1,000%.
1,000%, man. So next question. What would you want your kid? Do you want your kids to wrestle? Is what I was trying to word it.
The wrestling business is harsh. It's a really cruel business, and it's not for the weak. You know, it's not for your average man or female. It's a lot. You got to be willing to be okay with missing nights with your wife. You got to be willing to miss time with friends and family, funerals. You know, like all these planned hangouts. You know, and I see a lot of guys where they openly talk about these things. Like Shelton Benjamin, he's a former WWE superstar. I was watching Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and I think he said something along the lines where, like, if he can go back, he wish he could, like, spend more time with his family, you know, because you're constantly on the road and stuff. So, like, with my future kids, I would like for them to follow in my footsteps, but if they don't want to, then they don't. They don't have to. They don't have to. They can be a football player, a ballerina. They can do whatever. At the end of the day with my kids, I want them to do something great, though. I don't want them to just be stagnant in life and just not do anything. Like this bloodline that I'm going to have, I want them to all do something great. I don't care what it is. It just has to be something. Like, you can be a lawyer. I would consider that great. You know, a ballerina, like I said, just something great.
This like continuing with the whole bloodline. I hear you. Right.
Man, you know, so I just think about it like that. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. Tomorrow my pro wrestling career can end, but it's up to me to keep on going and figure out something else, you know. Maybe I become a movie star or an actor, you know, a director behind the scenes. Maybe I become a videographer. You just never know. Just let the chips fall where they may.
Hey, man. This is quote that I found recently. A wise man said, life isn't a dictionary. It's a thesaurus. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, dictionary has like one or two meanings. But with a thesaurus, multiple.
That's deep.
That's, you know, I love that.
It's really deep.
Because like you, man, because we talked about this before we press record that, you know, we got many interests. We don't want to be standing with just one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it could be many reasons why we just don't want one. And because I just love this one better. Or maybe because I can see myself perform way more better in this interest and profit off of this. Multiple reasons. So, outside of wrestling, well, it's kind of like a double answer question, but one is, how many sports have you played before you got into wrestling? And the second one, well, let's just start with that. Yeah, start with that one. Yeah, I was thinking.
How many sports that I played? Honestly, this might come as a surprise, but none.
None? You didn't actually wrestle like the match shit? Never?
Fuck no. In high school, I just hated everybody, man. Like I hated everybody due to how I was being treated. I once had one of my teachers tell me that I wasn't gonna make it past high school. You know,
wow.
So and that was in middle school.
That was in middle.
Damn. That was middle school. So I've had a really really dark like upbringing, man. But the only reason I never did nothing, I thought about being a part of the wrestling team, but I just had this strong desire of hate for everybody there. So I'm just like, okay, fuck every single one of you. So, hey, man.
Not even a club, not even like a
Fuck
program.
Fuck them all, man.
Fuck them all.
Fuck them all. Like, bro, I once tried to confide in one of my counselors one day, and they immediately called my mom, and then she was screaming at me in the car, like, oh, why'd you do this? Why were you thinking about this? You know, instead of, like, actually being there. But that's a whole other topic for another day. But it's just, like, just stuff like that, man. Or, like, I always, every conversation that I have with just anybody, doesn't matter who it is, it always motivates me because I remember this conversation every single day with my counselor in high school, Mr. Kopak. I was telling him how I want to be a wrestler and everything like that, and he told me, you have to have a plan B. And, like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it.
Right.
I understand the plan B.
That's what they all say, too.
But the way he was saying it was just like, damn, like, you don't think this shit gonna work out at all. Like, he was just like, I want to be a baseball player, but look at me now. That's what
they're gonna say too.
I'm just like, and then they'll try to preach college on you and shit. I'm just like, look, man, I'm not trying to be in no fucking college debt. Everybody that I know that ever went to college, like, they dropped out of that shit, man, and just didn't complete it. Like, I feel like, me personally, I feel like college is just a fucking big ass waste of time and just a money grab at the end of the day. All the information that you're gonna get out of college, you can find it online nowadays. So
true that.
That's a hot take though.
Hot take.
Just little shit like that, man. Just because you didn't fucking make it don't mean I'm not going to make it. Just because it didn't work out for you doesn't mean that everybody else around you are doomed also.
Right.
Know? So me, I'm going to make it whether in wrestling, whether it's in something else, movie acting. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, you know. Just I'm going to make it somehow.
I mean, yeah, and then that kind of go back to of just not trying to compare yourself to other people because, you know, everyone got a different role. Everyone got different paths. So it's like you can't just tell me that, all right, you try to become this, but it didn't work out. So you're trying to make sure I protect me, quote unquote, so that I won't get the same predicament as you. No, fuck that. I'm gonna do my own thing. So I like that. Now, do you believe that if you would have not wrestle, but just play any more sports, would you have more athleticism into your work?
Like you said, athleticism.
Yeah, like just be more active and just knowing like how to.
I mean, I feel like, of course, like I feel like if you play any sport, it's gonna make you more athletic. But I feel like even though I haven't played any sports at all, that I am extremely athletic when it comes to the in the ring. My cardio may not be like the best in the whole fucking world, but I can hang in there. Right. You know, so I just look at it like that, man.
Okay. Now, the second question I wanted to ask you was, since we were talking about interest, how now. You wrestle, but what are some things like hobbies and high ass things, interests? I want to say that you do. Like, do you
outside of wrestling?
Yeah, definitely outside of wrestling.
Okay, so some of these I don't do actively, but they are things that like, I'm good at a lot of things outside of wrestling. Okay, like I can draw really really good. That's a talent that nobody knows about. You know, I stopped drawing a long time ago. Damn. You know, I'm really, really great behind a camera. Like, I know how to direct, like, a lot of shit. I'm really good at videography, photography. I have a sharp eye for it. Everybody else should just take a picture for the love of it. Like, if you ask somebody, hey, take this picture for me, I'm going to stand there and do it like this.
Yes, yep, right.
Me, on the other hand, I'm going to get down. Oh shit! Yeah, different angles because like I know what I want. I know what kind of angles I want. I need everything. You know, I need above and beyond when you're filming my shit. Right. So I'm gonna give you the same energy when I'm filming your shit. You know, so just stuff like that and just editing. I'm really great at editing. Yeah. I can pretty much learn anything that I set my mind on for sure. So it just shit like that, man. That I can definitely get done.
I love that, man. I love that. So. Was it something that you used to do when you came when it came down to filmmaking, or not filmmaking, but just like videography or editing?
So like with videography, I started with I have two brothers. My other brother, he goes by like Sophia's Island. He changes his name all the time, so it might not even be that anymore. but that's besides the point. But I started getting more into that because he was teaching me. He's like a model. He does all this like film stuff. So like I kind of he took me underneath his wing after a while, and he's actually the one that boosted my confidence up a lot to like be in the middle of a street with a lot of cars just looking at me and stand there unfazed and just keep standing there. You know, I have videos of proof like showing me doing push-ups in the middle of the street and downtown where I'm just standing there, bro. I don't give a damn what anybody think. I will walk down there in a Dr. Octopus outfit and not give a damn what anybody has to say to me.
Does that part take into you? Because it's a lot of people out here, especially like where they're at right now, that don't care. They can do some wild shit in public and not feel embarrassed at all.
I don't feel embarrassed at all.
Does that partake in that?
Man, just all I can really say is that just when I'm in public, I'm me, and I'm going to be me at the end of the day. I don't give a damn what he said, she said. I don't give a damn. Oh, what are you doing? Everybody's watching. You got to understand this. At the end of the day, just imagine when you're walking down the street in downtown, right? And you see a naked person running down the street, right? For a couple seconds, you're going to be like, oh, shit. But then after those couple seconds, guess what? You're going to continue to do what you're doing. You're going to keep walking down that fucking street.
Right.
So if somebody see me in the middle of the fucking street doing the push-ups that I'm doing, they're going to be like, oh, shit, what the hell? Or somebody's going to hate. There's always going to be that one person that's going to hate in the crowd. They're going to hate, but then guess what? They're going to keep on going. Think about it at your job. Somebody might complain about the job that you're doing. Hey, you're doing this wrong. But at the end of the day, guess what they're going to keep on doing? They're going to keep on fucking working. They're going to keep clocking in and clocking out. The day keeps on going. The world keeps on spinning. No matter what you're going through either. You can be going through a whole fucking crisis. You could be on your deathbed. But guess what? The fucked up part is, at the end of the day, the world is going to keep on fucking spinning.
Keep on fucking spinning, man. Like, you warn about the wrong shit. Because, like, there's people out here that be, oh, my God. They care about too much of the perception of themselves. Like, oh, they're going to think I'm this. They're going to think I'm that. Yeah. I see that you're the opposite of that. And I respect that about you.
Who gives a fuck about what these people think of me, man?
Oh, my God.
There's a lot of people out there that fucking hate my guts, or they disagree with everything I fucking say or whatnot. They don't like what I'm doing. They want me to change what I'm doing. Okay, fuck every single one of you. I'm going to do me at the end of the fucking day. I'm going to just keep on going with what James Fury does.
Yes, bro. And those people out there are not happy. And look at us. We're happy of being ourselves. So people out there, take note of that. If you're uncomfortable with yourself and have these fucking beliefs about this and about that, no, just think about it. Be happy for yourself. All right, next question. And I still got a lot.
God,
any dream matches?
Oh shit!
In the ring.
Dream matches.
It could be a 1v1, 2v2, whatever, bro.
Definitely carrying cross.
Okay.
Randy Orton, John Cena would love to take multiple AAs. Why not? I would love to be put in this STF. That probably sounds so fucking gay.
STF? What does that stand for?
It's like a submission. It's a submission. I don't know. Like, I got a thing for submissions where, like, I need to be put in a submission. Oh, shit. It seems dramatic. Like, every time I see people in the submissions in WWE, it's so dramatic. I love those dramatic, like, story-driven moments. So it's just like, I love stuff like that. That's how I went out on my retirement match, actually, in the backyard wrestling. But, yeah, I don't really have that many dream matches, man. Just I'm really early on in my career, so I don't really have that many dream matches. But like I said, Randy Orton, Karrion Kross, maybe Jacob Fatu or something like that. But that's all I can really think of for right now.
For sure. And since you spoke of the word retirement, what age or what point of your career that you want to, like, hang the jersey?
I'm gonna hang up the boots whenever I get like fucking, like, if I injure myself so badly doing this, which I wrestle in a way to where, like, it's almost like not impossible, but it's hard for me to get injured. I'm only gonna allow myself to take certain things, and there's gonna be a lot of other things where I'm just not gonna take, just for my own well-being and safety. Because it's a big risk stepping into that ring. Anything can fucking happen. One wrong step, one wrong move, it's a fucking over. Lights out, my brother. So as far as hanging it up, man, just it's more like how much my body can take.
Right.
Everybody has a bump card, and, like, I only have so many bumps left in me. I'm only 2 years in, but I feel every bump that I've ever taken. I don't know how many bumps I've taken, but I feel it right now while I'm in this chair. I always have my girl step on my back and crack the fuck out of that shit. While I'm at work, I'm always on the bar, like, cracking it for myself. Oh, yeah, and shit,
like that little back crack stretch.
Yeah, I've never had to crack my back this many times as before. So it's just like, fuck, man. But whenever my body can't handle it anymore, and I'm just old, and everything's said and done, that's it. It's a fucking wrap. I'm done.
Well, that has it. Everybody else, ladies and gentlemen, this is James Fury I'm not gonna lie, I forgot your fucking thing. Is it like
You talking about the Eternal Flame Salvation?
Yeah, that. So James Ferry, the Eternal Flame of Salvation.
Bro, I could just fucking say it if you need me to say it.
Yeah, no key, because I forgot about that shit. I had it, bro. I was gonna look at it. I don't think I had to write it down, but I had it in my head all day.
Oh,
but that mama with that Hoover County,
Right,
I forgot. But hey, go ahead, bro.
Right.
Go ahead.
I am the eternal flame of salvation, burning through your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of fucking happiness.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is James Fury. My name is Wally Shavers. This is the Lunch Show Podcast, and I appreciate every single one of you that tuned in for the episode. Thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe on the video. Follow our Instagram page, Lunch T Pod, LUNCHTPOD. Y'all have a great one. Deuces.